She had the perfect fiancé, the perfect life, until one drunken mistake exposed years of lies, betrayal, and secrets no one saw coming. And the real disaster was just getting started. I should have known it would blow up eventually. I mean, nothing that perfect lasts. Not in my family. But back then, if you asked anyone, they would have told you my cousin Brooke was living the dream. Perfect guy, perfect house, perfect little future all lined up like some Hallmark special. And me? I was the idiot cousin crashing on my buddy's couch, driving Uber at night, trying not to hate her for having it so easy. The thing is, I liked Brooke. I loved her, honestly. She was like my sister growing up. She used to sneak me snacks when I got grounded. Covered for me when I wrecked my mom's car. She was the golden girl of the family, but she never made me feel small. Not until everything came out. It started a month before her wedding. Brooke and her fiancé, Matt, threw this huge bonfire party out at his parents' property. Giant field, string lights, cornhole boards, the whole thing. It looked like a Pinterest board threw up. Everyone was drinking cheap beer and taking pictures like it was a second engagement shoot. Matt was the real deal. Hardworking, stupidly loyal. The kind of guy who calls your grandpa, sir, and actually means it. He wasn't flashy, but you could tell he worshipped Brooke. The way he looked at her across the firelight, laughing like she hung the damn stars. I remember thinking, man, she's got it made. Around midnight, people started peeling off. I stayed back, helping Matt clean up. We loaded coolers into his truck, picked up half-empty cups off the grass. Brooke was nowhere. At first, we didn't think much of it. She was probably with the girls, getting another bottle or taking selfies somewhere. But after 20 minutes, Matt started to get this look. Tight jaw, scanning the shadows. He called her name. Once, twice. No answer. Finally he said, half joking but not really, she better not be passed out somewhere. I offered to check the side field where a few cars were still parked. That's when I saw it. One of the trucks, Matt's best friend Travis's truck, was rocking slightly. Barely, like someone breathing heavy inside. My gut went cold. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe someone just needed a quiet place to throw up. Maybe they were just talking. But then I heard it. Low laughter. Brooke's voice. I stood there frozen, listening to her giggle, slur something I couldn't make out. Travis muttered back, and then there was this wet, sloppy sound I wished to God I could erase from my brain. I didn't want to be the one to open that door. I didn't want to be the one to ruin it. But Matt was already walking up behind me, calling her name again, louder this time. I tried to step in front of him. I said, man, maybe give her a second. Maybe she's just. But it was too late. Matt yanked the door open. And there she was. Brooke, sprawled across the back seat in her little white sundress, a bottle of Fireball rolling off her thigh, laughing like nothing mattered. Travis's hand was halfway up her dress. Her hair was a mess, lipstick smeared halfway across her cheek. She looked up at Matt, and for half a second, she didn't even register it was him. She just laughed again. This stupid, high-pitched giggle that made my stomach turn. Then she realized. Her whole face collapsed. She scrambled up, tried to shove Travis away like he had been the one attacking her. She started stammering, "It's not what it looks like," the classic line, like that would somehow make it better. Matt just stood there. Silent. I don't think I've ever seen a man's heart break that quietly before. Finally, he said, voice shaking, "Get out." Brooke blinked at him, confused, like she didn't understand English all of a sudden. He pointed at Travis. "You. Get the hell out of my truck." Travis, coward that he was, scrambled out and took off into the dark without a word. Brooke tried to follow, babbling, "Matt, listen, please, I was drunk, it didn't mean anything." Matt cut her off with a look. The kind of look that makes you take a step back without thinking. Then he turned, got into the driver's seat, and peeled out so hard the gravel sprayed my legs. Brooke just stood there barefoot in the field, clutching that damn bottle like it was the only thing keeping her upright. And me? I just stood there too, wishing I could unsee it. Wishing I could hate her for it. But it was worse than that. Because the real bomb hadn't even dropped yet. The fallout didn't hit all at once. It came in slow, mean waves. The next morning, Matt was gone. His truck, his stuff, even the goofy magnet Brooke had stuck on his tailgate, gone like he'd never existed. He didn't call. Didn't text. Didn't rage post online like some guys would. He just disappeared. And Brooke? She woke up pretending it hadn't happened. I was still crashing at my buddy's place back then, but word got around fast. My phone blew up with texts, "Hey, where's Matt? Brooke's freaking out. Did they have a fight? You were there, right?" I didn't answer. What the hell was I supposed to say? Brooke finally called me herself around noon. She started off sweet. "Hey, can you come over? I just need to talk." I almost said no. But I owed her that much, I thought. At least to hear her out. When I got there, she looked rough. Puffy face, mascara smudges under her eyes, wearing one of Matt's old flannels like armor. The house still smelled like his cologne. Like the life they'd built had already rotted away. She hugged me like I was a life raft. I didn't hug her back. She pulled away, tried to laugh it off. God, what a night, huh? I just stared at her. Finally she dropped the act. Voice trembling, she said, "It didn't mean anything. You know that, right? Travis was he was flirting, and I was drunk, and it got out of hand." I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. But her voice was all wrong. Too rehearsed. Too careful. I said, "You didn't look drunk last night." Her face twisted. "So what, you're taking his side now?" "Whose side?" I snapped before I could stop myself. "Matt's? Travis's? Whose side am I supposed to be on here, Brooke?" She flinched like I'd slapped her. She folded in on herself, arms wrapped tight around her stomach. "You're supposed to be on mine." That guilt. That twisting, gut punch guilt. She'd always known how to play it. I said, softer this time, "You need to tell him the truth." She just shook her head, tears welling up again. "He won't listen. He hates me. He won't even answer my texts." "Can you blame him?" I asked before I could stop myself. She sank down onto the couch, pulling the flannel tighter around her. "I didn't sleep with him," she whispered, voice cracking. "I swear to God, we didn't." I believed her. Mostly. But it didn't really matter anymore, did it? The trust was gone. And worse, the lies were just starting. Because 2 days later, I found out it wasn't the first time. I was at the gas station, minding my business, when I ran into Travis. He looked like hell. Red eyes, busted lip, like somebody'd taken a swing at him. Probably Matt. He tried to duck me, but I cornered him by the ice machine. "You got something to say to me?" I asked, low and tight. He didn't even deny it. Just shrugged like it was above his pay grade. "Brooke's been hitting me up for months, man." My stomach turned. "You're lying." He laughed bitterly. "You think last night was the first time? Jesus, open your eyes." He pulled out his phone. Showed me a string of texts. Flirty. Drunk. Begging him to hang out when Matt was out working night shifts. My cousin. The girl I used to call my sister. I wanted to smash Travis's face into the ice machine. Instead, I turned and walked away before I did something that would land me in jail. When I got home, Brooke was waiting for me. Sitting on my busted front steps like some stray cat, smoking a cigarette she didn't even inhale properly. She jumped up when she saw me. "Did you talk to him? Did he say anything?" I stared at her for a long time. "You need to come clean," I said. "All the way. Not just what you got caught doing." Her face went white. She knew. She fumbled the cigarette, cursed under her breath, then said, "I can fix this. If you back me up." My laugh was sharp, bitter. "Back you up?" She nodded frantically. "Just say it was a mistake. Say Travis came on to me. Matt will believe you. He trusts you." The words hit harder than any punch. She wanted me to lie. To sell out Matt, a guy who treated me like a brother, just to protect her crumbling fairy tale. I said, "You're on your own." I went inside and slammed the door in her face. I heard her crying out there for a long time. I didn't open it. Not this time. Not again. Because somewhere deep down, I already knew, this wasn't just about Travis. There was more. A lot more. And the worst of it hadn't even cracked the surface yet. The first blow came from Brooke's mom. 3 days after the bonfire, she showed up at my buddy's place uninvited, pounding on the door like she had a warrant. I opened it a crack. She shoved her way inside like she owned the place, wearing those giant sunglasses women always think will hide the crazy. "You," she snapped, jabbing a finger at my chest, "are destroying this family." I just stared at her, too stunned to speak. She kept going, voice shrill. "Brooke made a mistake. One mistake. And you're blowing it up like it's some federal crime." I said, trying to stay calm, "You don't know everything." "I know enough," she snapped. "I know you're supposed to protect family. Not air our dirty laundry for everyone to see." My fists clenched so tight my nails dug into my palms. I wanted to tell her what Travis had said. I wanted to shove those texts in her face. But what was the point? She wasn't here for the truth. She was here for the cover-up. I said, I'm not lying for her. You can hate me all you want. She shook her head in disgust, muttered something about me being jealous, before storming out, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the picture frames. Jealous. If it hadn't been so pathetic, it might have been funny. But the word stuck in my brain like a splinter. Because the truth was, a small part of me was jealous. Not of Brooke's life, not anymore. But of the illusion she got to live in for so long. While the rest of us slogged through real life, she floated through hers on a cloud of fake smiles and second chances. Not anymore. The next wave hit when Matt's sister posted a cryptic Facebook status. Something about real colors and grateful for the trash taking itself out. Family group chats lit up like a damn Christmas tree. Half the family blamed Matt for walking away. Men can't handle a strong woman. The other half said Brooke got exactly what she deserved. I stayed out of it. Mostly. Until Brooke's brother, Nate, texted me. You free? We need to talk. I met him at this grimy little dive bar off the highway. He bought me a beer without asking, slid it across the table, and got right to it. I know about the other guy, he said, low enough no one could overhear. I froze, bottle halfway to my mouth. What other guy? I asked, even though my gut already knew. Nate gave this tired, bitter smile. You think Travis was the first? Hell no. She's been screwing around for months. Some guy from her gym. Matt caught M texting a while back. She cried, swore it was just flirting. He bought it. He laughed, but there wasn't any humor in it. Poor bastard was gonna marry her anyway. My head spun. I said, why didn't he call it off back then? Nate shrugged. Love makes you stupid, I guess. He finished his beer in 2 long gulps, slammed the empty bottle down harder than he needed to. She was never gonna stop, he said. Some people are just built like that. I didn't have anything to say. What could I say? When I got back to my car, I just sat there for a long time, engine idling, trying to process it. Brooke wasn't just reckless. She was a liar. A professional one. And Matt wasn't just heartbroken. He'd been set up. Loved, bombed. Gaslit. Betrayed over and over until he barely recognized the girl he was about to marry. And still, part of me kept thinking, maybe she'd hit rock bottom. Maybe she'd finally own it. That fantasy lasted until the wedding invitations came back. Return to sender. Wedding cancelled. No explanation. No apology. Just a blank space where their names used to be. Brooke didn't tell anyone officially. She just let the news leak out in whispers. Meanwhile, Matt moved out of state. Took a job up north. Gone. Like he never existed. Brooke didn't cry about it. Not publicly. She pivoted, fast. Started posting selfies again. Working on myself, captions full of sunflowers and fake empowerment quotes. As if she hadn't just torched the best thing that ever happened to her. The final nail came at Thanksgiving. Family gathering. Too much food, too much wine. Everyone pretending they weren't waiting for someone to say something. Brooke showed up late, wearing this skin-tight dress, all dolled up like she was walking a red carpet. No shame. No apology. She hugged her mom, kissed her dad, made polite conversation like nothing had happened. When my mom asked where Matt was, Brooke just laughed, and said, guess he couldn't handle a real woman, huh? The room went silent. I saw red. I stood up so fast my chair scraped the floor. Every eye turned toward me. I said, voice shaking, you broke him. You broke everything. Brooke blinked at me, all fake innocence. I don't know what you're talking about. I laughed. Low. Mean. Yeah, I said. You never do. I grabbed my coat and left. Didn't even stay for pie. Didn't look back. I knew if I did, I'd never be able to unsee the stranger standing there where my cousin used to be. I didn't see Brooke again for a long time after that Thanksgiving. No birthday texts. No Christmas calls. Not even a drunk 2 a.m., I miss you message. It was like we agreed, silently, that whatever we were, cousins, siblings, friends, it was gone now. And honestly, I was fine with that. I threw myself into work, pulled double shifts. Started saving for a real apartment instead of bumming couches. Tried to scrape the poison out of my brain. But poison's funny like that. It doesn't just leave. It festers. It was Nate who dragged it all back up again. He texted me out of nowhere one night. "You're gonna wanna see this." Attached was a screenshot. Brooke, smiling like nothing ever happened. Only this time, she was on Instagram, posing with Travis. Second chances are everything. Ring. And there it was. A fat diamond ring on her finger. Same hand Matt was supposed to put one on. Same hand she clutched the night she ruined everything. My hands went numb. I stared at the screen for what felt like hours, like if I just looked hard enough, it would start to make sense. It didn't. She hadn't just moved on. She had upgraded her betrayal into a whole new life. Marrying the guy who helped blow up her last engagement. Acting like it was fate. Like it was meant to be. I guess once you burn everything down, it's easy to pretend you're just warming your hands by the fire. Word spread fast after that. Family group chats exploded again. Half of them congratulating her like she was some phoenix rising from the ashes. The other half, the quiet half, just ghosted. Nobody mentioned Matt. Nobody mentioned how Travis had been best man at their engagement party once. How Matt used to call him his brother. All of it wiped clean. Revisionist history. Courtesy of Brooke. I didn't comment. Didn't text her. Didn't do a damn thing. I let it rot. I thought that was the end. Until 2 months later, I got a letter. Not a text. Not an email. A real, actual letter, like it was 1950. Handwritten. Sloppy. Smelling faintly of some perfume I couldn't name. From Matt. It wasn't long. Barely a page. He said he was doing good. Working construction up north. Bought a dog. Got a tiny apartment he could barely afford but loved anyway. He didn't mention Brooke once. Not her name. Not what happened. The only thing he wrote, the thing that stuck with me the hardest, was this. Some people will break themselves trying to become the person you already loved. And some will break you just because you did. I read that line over and over until the words blurred. Because he was right. Brooke hadn't cheated because she needed more. She cheated because she couldn't stand someone loving her without needing to fix her first. She needed the chaos. The drama. The mess. And Travis? He was the perfect mess. I didn't reply to Matt's letter. Not because I didn't care. But because he didn't need my words anymore. He was free. And me? I stopped looking at Brooke's social media after that. Stopped checking for updates. Stopped torturing myself with the highlight reel of her fake new life. Until one night, months later, when Nate texted again. Just 3 words. Guess who's pregnant? I didn't even open the attachment. I just set my phone face down and stared at the ceiling. Because some people never stop burning down the house. They just start building the next one out of matches. And deep down, I knew it was only a matter of time before the next fire. I didn't go to the wedding. I didn't send a card. I didn't even pretend to care. And for the first time in my life, it felt good to not force it. From what I heard, the ceremony was exactly what you'd expect from 2 people building a house out of matches. Quick, loud, sloppy around the edges. Photos popped up online, Brooke in a tight white dress that looked more Vegas than fairy tale, Travis grinning like a guy who just conned the bank and got away clean. Most of the family went. Pretended it was beautiful. Pretended it was love. I stayed home and ate microwave pizza in my boxers. Best decision I ever made. The baby came 6 months later. Another girl added to the lie. Another anchor tied to the ship already taking on water. Brooke posted endless photos. Mommy blogger captions. Inspirational quotes about second chances. Pictures of Travis kissing her forehead, looking hollow behind the eyes. I muted her account after the first week. But even muted, the news still found me. It always does. The first real crack showed up a year into their marriage. Travis got caught. Drunk at a bar. Flirting with a waitress barely out of high school. Somebody filmed it, naturally. Sent it around. Nate showed me the clip at a 4th of July barbecue, laughing so hard he nearly dropped his beer. I didn't laugh. Not because I cared about Brooke anymore. But because it didn't even feel surprising. Of course Travis would cheat. Of course Brooke would stay, at least for a while. Of course the cycle would keep spinning, eating itself alive. Later that summer, I ran into Brooke at the grocery store. First time I'd seen her in almost 2 years. She looked tired. Not physically. Physically she was still Brooke, tan, pretty, tight jeans, the whole image curated just right. But her eyes were empty. Flat, hollow things behind a practiced smile. She spotted me by the produce section, cart half full of boxed mac and cheese and formula. For a second, we just stared at each other. Then she smiled. That same bright, too wide smile she used to get out of speeding tickets and fights and betrayals. "Hey stranger," she said, voice way too cheerful. I nodded, cool, casual. "Hey." Awkward silence. She shifted her weight, fiddled with a bracelet on her wrist. "You look good," she said, and I could hear the forced brightness scraping under every word. "You too," I lied. More silence. She glanced at her cart like it might save her. "I heard you moved into your own place," she said. "That's awesome. I'm happy for you." I just nodded. Didn't offer up anything. Didn't ask how she was doing. Didn't feed the fake catch-up game. Finally she said, quieter this time, "You know, I miss us." The words hit like a slow punch. Not because I missed her. But because she still didn't get it. There was no us left. She ended it the night she chose a bottle of Fireball and a cheap thrill over the people who actually loved her. I didn't say any of that out loud. I just said, "Yeah. Take care, Brooke," and walked away. Didn't look back. Not this time. Not ever again. I don't know what her life looks like now. Not really. I hear things sometimes. Nate says Travis still cheats. That he doesn't even bother hiding it anymore. Says Brooke stays busy posting inspirational quotes and pretending everything's perfect. I don't feel sorry for her. I don't hate her either. Honestly, I don't feel much at all. And that's how I know I finally let it go. Because love doesn't burn out in fire. It fades in silence. It fades the first time you see someone clearly and realize they were never who you thought they were. Not even close. If I ever think about Brooke now, it's like remembering a dream you have forgot. Blurry. Distant. Meaningless. Just another story you tell yourself to fall asleep at night. And when I do fall asleep, I don't dream about her. I don't dream about Matt. I don't dream about the life that could have been if people were better than they are. I dream about peace. About quiet. About building something real. No matches. No fire. Just something that doesn't burn.